Hey everybody, and welcome to Hex Token channel. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Does my screen look a little bit funny? It does look a little funny to me, but welcome everybody. Let's get on to it. What is going on there? That's a little bit weird. Let's move it around. Let's what happens when I do that? Oh yeah, woo! All right, we're really big there. All right, let's move on. I don't know why that seems to have moved place, but anyway. I did say I was going to rejig stuff, but I hadn't actually done anything, so crazy stuff. Welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And, of course, oh, that looks a bit better. I just had to scroll up a little bit there. How about that? Welcome. What day is it? It is Tuesday here in good old New Zealand, which means it's Monday still up in the Northern Hemisphere. Currently the 20th of June and 11:30 a.m. in the morning. It is a pretty nice day outside. Wouldn't say perfect, but very nice day outside, even though we're in the second half of winter. It is looking pretty sunny, actually. It's not a bad day at all. So, yeah. Let's have a look who's else. We've got Harry in the house. Good to see you, Harry. Woo! Hello, everybody. Hope all is well. Indeed, I do too. We've got Knoxville as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got Wookie in the house. Hello, all. Hex, EHEX, PLSX, PLS, and incentive token for the win. 100%. The golden standard crypto, as we say. Richard Hart. Hexforce 1 has got the attitude to win. Let's do this. Woohoo! Hexforce 1 has landed. Hex Go Yo is in the house as well. Hi, everybody. I love this community, 100%. And, of course, I always like to remind people of what Richard said. His favorite thing about the community was about the project that he's been putting out as the community. Really surprised him to the upside. So, pretty cool on that. Scott Jackson, good morning, everybody. Hey, Scott, good to see you. We got Mixed in the house as well, all evening. Always a pleasure to have Mixed in the house there. We got Jenna in as well, one of our awesome moderators. G'day. What's up today? We're going to get into all that. We're going to talk about passive income opportunities. And, of course, what are we on? Day 38? Maybe day 37, day 38. So, yeah, we're going to get into all that and what passive income opportunities open. We're going to have a good look at some of the Pulsechain and PulseX passive income opportunities already. Of course, we're expecting a lot of the big platforms to launch maybe within the next 3 to 4 weeks, somewhere in that ballpark. So looking forward to those big projects. We got Excavator as well. Woohoo! Good to see Excavator and Christian as well. Hello, Familia. Good to see you, Christian. And Check My Pulse says, what's up, y'all? Good to see you as well. Machiavelli dropped in. We've got Hex Token. Woohoo! Yeah, if you want to hit those emojis, just hit the join button, become a member. You get all those emojis in the chat there and special name coloring on the Discord, which is kind of cool. So definitely smash that. We've got a bit of a pullback in the prices. So Check My Pulse says has been working a lot, scooping up some Hex. Yeah. So yesterday, I felt it was leveling off a little bit yesterday. And woke up in the morning and has come off a little bit there, which means you can pick up a lot more crypto, basically, doesn't it? Now, how are we going to set up the live stream today? We're going to be covering the markets first of all. We're going to get into markets, and then we're going to get into the passive income opportunities for PulseX, and all the a lot of projects, or basically pretty much like I think I've got all the list of projects up on Pulsechain at the moment. And then, of course, we're going to get into some project updates, and then into Hex and get paid. We always like to get paid at the end of the day, so we're going to get into Hex daily payouts. So there's lots in store. Briz is here. Never fear. Hi, guys. Good to see you, Briz. We got Charity as well. Howdy, Charity. And, hello, Hex Token family there from, or Hex family, I should say, from Crypto Tycoon. Welcome, everybody. We've got 43 people already in the house. Let's get into it. So let's go. We might have a special guest later on. Maybe. We will see. You'll know what I mean when I show up. But we got BTC at the moment on an update, which is kind of nice. BTC $26,778. We got ETH at 1737. So good numbers there by the leaders, and that's good to see. What do we else there? We got BNB is still struggling a little bit, obviously with the SEC stuff. But other than that, it is up pretty good, actually. I think $243 pretty good. And that was a bounce back. So, yeah. There was talk of Litecoin, of course, doing quite well. Let's see, Litecoin at the moment is, it's only up a little bit there, but adoption apparently is doing well for Litecoin. Apparently, Litecoin adoption outdoes Ethereum, apparently. So, there we are. I used to spend quite a bit of time on Litecoin, but not so much these days, of course. All right, that is pretty much it on the crypto. Let's jump over to, actually, what's BTC dominance? BTC dominance is 47.61%. That's pretty hefty on BTC dominance there. Let's jump over to, of course, a Pulsechain and PulseX prices. We've got quadruple 0.97, so down 3% on a 24-hour basis. 3% discount from the sacrifice price at the moment. And that's just come off just a little bit from yesterday. And we had that nice rally for, what, 2.5 days, something like that. And we're just tapering off there a little bit. Hopefully we won't get another slide down. We'll talk about that when we get to the chart. We've got, and we'll get a bit of a break to the upside. That'll be kind of cool. Or at least moving sideways would be nice. We've got burned there at the moment, 134 billion burned, and about 131 billion members of the Pulsechain team. We're sitting at about 0.9% of the circulating public supply being burned. And PulseX, we've got quadruple 0.378, well below sacrifice. And as I guys pointed to you out, this it kind of feels like there's like an easy 150% plus in this because of the law convergence and psychological moves back to the sacrifice price at some stage in the future. Yeah, this down 5%. So it looks like kind of one of the easiest money in the hand type of plays. You're always looking for those, right? That almost seems almost like a certainty, but nothing's 100% certain, but almost like a certainty. We got the burn though, is magical burn from PulseX. 165 billion is burned so far. We're almost at 0.8% of the public supply of 21 trillion. So that is moving along quite nicely. The more volume we have, the bigger the buy and burn. Incentive there, we got $11.70. It is down 10.3%. And this, what more importantly, the ratio is down 121,213. So I talked about this quite several days in a row. This was shaving off about a couple of thousand each day. It's actually made a bigger move today down in terms of the ratio. I think we were sitting at 128,000 yesterday, up down to 121. So instead of being 2,000 or 3,000, it's down about 7,000 today at the moment, at the time of this us reading. Now, total supply of incentive token, 3.2 million. So that, remember this for when we talk about passive income, when we get the PulseX, it is down at 3.2. It's the total supply at 3.2 million at the moment. Remember, it started off at 0, as I always like to remind everybody. Hex at the moment, Hex on a Pulsechain is 0. It's basically 1.25 cents. That's pretty much it. And if we combine it with Hex on Ethereum or eHex, we've got the combined price of Pulse and Ethereum Hex at 2.11 cents. So it's come off a little bit from yesterday. I think we were at 2.3 cents yesterday. We're down 5.6% at the moment. So the biggest decrease today is incentive token. That ratio has dropped quite a bit there. So there we are. That's down to 10%. All right. The stickiest price on a 24-hour basis, at least at the time that we're looking now, is Pulse, only down 3%. So there we are. All right. So that is pretty much that on the coins. Let's quickly go to the validators. We're going to talk about validators a bit later. But at the moment, 616, almost 617 billion has been staked at the moment with validators. And of course, that's in addition to that 134 billion burned. So it's looking pretty attractive. I think we're at about 5 billion supply sync so far. We're at 19,279 validators at the moment. So lots of opportunity for people to come in. We're going to talk about that later on. So stay tuned for that. Looking at the cost of a Pulsechain, of course, super cheap. We're at 187 times cheaper than Ethereum. Remember, Pulsechain is the first full system stake copy of Ethereum. And of course, you can do everything on Pulsechain, and you can do it 187 times cheaper than Ethereum, 220 times cheaper than Bitcoin. So looking pretty good. PulseX at the moment, 4 cents a swap to send a Pulse coin, a third of a penny, and of course the PRC20 there, an eighth of a penny. That's the lowest that we've actually seen that, if I remember rightly. Oh no, we have seen it down here once before, I think, but 0.8 of a penny on a PRC20 transfer. That's very nice indeed. The beat's way down there, just below 1.3 million. Not bad at all. So having a quick look at the PulseX numbers, looks like transactions are up 0.9%. Our volume apparently is down 42%. Yeah, we can see that with the prices coming down there, I guess. And liquidity there is down 4% for the day. All right, that is pretty much it. Is there anything else we're going to talk about? We haven't looked at the bridge for a while, but these numbers move around, obviously, and we've probably got better. We'll probably use one of the June reports to report on this as well. So there we are. All right. It looks like it's processing pretty fast, though, through the official Pulsechain bridge, and you can get stuff through there. You can also, obviously, on PLS Burn here, buy Pulse as well. So many places now to buy Pulse, at least probably 15, I would say. All right, let's get into the actual charts, though. We got charts here. We got Pulse here, looking at the chart there. We've got that breakout. Now, what we want to do is get a nice little move a bit higher here. Get up to maybe 1,200 on this. We're at 9,693. So maybe get up to 1,200 would be pretty cool, or 12,000, I should say, would be pretty cool. Sort of about up here. It'd be nice to see that happen. A bit of a modest pullback today, which is not bad at this stage. We just obviously don't want to get these rise, this waterfall, a waterfall thing here going down. So hopefully this breaking this range here will give us a bit more of a chance to do the breakout. Otherwise, we might retest down here, down the line here, maybe down to 8,300 or something, 8,500. So we'll see what happens there. All right, PulseX also looking pretty similar, a little bit stronger in some ways, but a little bit similar there. So we're watching that too at 3,779. As you can see, how far away are we from the sacrifice price? Let's have a look. 165%. So yesterday we're 150%. Now we're 165% away from the sacrifice price. So I don't know. That just seems like easy money for me. You just got to wait out the time. Anyway, good, pretty cool, big opportunity there. Incentive token at the moment, we see at $11.72. Let's look at the pulse ratio. That's more important. And we can see, yeah, bigger drop today. See, we were sort of shedding a little bit, couple thousand each day. We've had a couple of little big drops, but today a decent little drop here. We're at 131,766, so we rebounded a little bit, and now we're down at 121,247. Remember, this hourly chart's got about 17 minutes to go. There's about 17 minutes to go in this daily candle here for the incentive pulse ratio there, shedding down. That being said, of course, even at 121,000 pulse per incentive, this is still looking pretty good on the old farm. So we're going to check out the farms later on. Finally, Hex on Pulsechain, 1.2 cents there, all looking pretty similar, all bonded liquidity, all looking pretty similar trends here with all these charts. 1.246 cents at the moment, and that was after having 2 good days in the office back here on the 17th. So we're watching that too. Let's look at Hex on EHEX. Hex on EHEX at the moment. Let me just hide all these and go back to the daily. What are we on the daily there? Yep. So this is Hex on Pulsechain. Oh, sorry, Hex on Ethereum. We're at just under, what was it? 8600th of a penny there. That's pretty much it. Yeah, we actually were pretty good earlier today. We've had a high of 9500ths of a penny. So just easing off here a little bit too after 3 awesome days. So cool. Will that be the bottom down here? Where were we? Bottom down here at 0064 on the ETH chain. We'll see. And maybe we'll get a nice little zigzag back up here. That's kind of where I feel like we probably will go. All right. That is pretty much it on there. So we're going to get into the passive incomes side of things now. So before we do that, though, let's catch up on the chat. I'm going to leave it on the prices here, the summary prices summary, and we're going to get into the passive income opportunities. Let's see who else has jumped in here. We got John Goebel in the house there. Will you stop with all the hellos and get to the info? Says John. It sounds like it's your first time you've ever been here, John. What else do we got there? Wilkins in the house as well. Hi, Briz, the special guest. Yeah, Briz is always a special guest there. And Brian's in here as well. What's up, folks? Good to see you, Brian. And Joe O'Brien there says, hello, Superman, and my fellow Xkins. Absolutely. Welcome to the chat there. All right. Let us see here. Now, John Goebel, I always say hello to everybody. I love the community, so nothing's changing with that. Let's say that much. All right, let's go. We got the validators. So the first opportunity that you can do passive income is Pulsechain. And, of course, the APR, the annual percentage return, think of it like a flat interest, is 23.7%. So when you see another, you might see another metric out there called APY. It's kind of like a compounded rate of return. And so those are the differences. So here we are, 23.7% per annum. And that is amazing at the moment. So absolutely incredible. There are 19,279 validators. Now, what you will need is obviously you'll need a dedicated computer. You'll need to set up the operating system. And, of course, then run your scripts to get yourself up and running to deposit your Pulse into that. So you'll need 32 million Pulse to be validated by yourself. And of course, there's several resources out there. RH Max, David Feder, and Gamma, and a few others out there as well that you can get the resources. Now, we do have a link to some of them on our useful links in our Discord, but sometimes the scripts get updated as well. So there's some pretty cool options there for you to do that. But in any case, there is here on the launchpad, pulsechain.com, how to become a validator, learn about staking and more stats like that. So there's a little bit of education there. Now, at the moment, it's 23.7% paid out in Pulse, which is, I think, is absolutely dreamy. If you think about, we've just started the chain. At the moment, we're only on day 38. So we're on day 38 at the moment. You can see at the top right corner here on PulseBoom. And yeah, that's beautiful. So 19,279 are in there. So it's kind of cool. When you actually stake, you're staking in your own wallet as well. So you always keep your own coins. It's not like you're putting it in some other contract or anything like that. You always holding your own coins. You can pretty much scrape the return off as well, which is pretty cool, and withdraw that. Now, there obviously are responsibilities. There can be penalties. So you got to understand those as well. But if you're operating pretty smoothly, most of the time it should operate pretty well. Also, obviously, it's good to have a short-term power backup as well in case your power goes off for a while. And of course, if you go on holiday, maybe an option is to withdraw your deposits while you're on holiday, and then just deposit it back in when you come back, so that you don't get into any issues around that. So it's things like that you have to think about. But pretty nice return. And of course, imagine it, you get all this Pulse, and then the price goes up and to the right. You get some of those big X's that we're expecting in the future. Then it's pretty much awesome, right? A really great yield, pretty conservative as well. Apart from managing it, most of the time you'll just have it running up or just do its thing. As long as the power's on, everything else like that, it's pretty good. So a really great opportunity. Of course, layer 1, first full system stake copy of Ethereum, and it's just ticking away, humming along really nicely. So cool. You can already see there's 617 billion Pulse already staked there with the validator. Now, in the future, there probably will be delegating options as opposed to these validating staking options, where you don't need 32 million if the 32 million is too expensive. Because imagine if the price of Pulse goes up, 32 million is going to go up a lot, right? So if it's at the moment, if it's about $3,500 to be a validator, then in the future it might be 15,000 or 30,000, right? So you got to take that into account, right? On Ethereum, of course, 32 ETH times $1,750 on Ethereum, it'll cost you about $56,000 to be a validator. If we divided that by, let's say, by 3,500, which is approximate cost to be a validator on Pulsechain, depending on what the price of Pulse is, that's 16 times more US dollars you need to do that. So it's a pretty good opportunity. I've seen a lot of people that get in early on these chains as validators do very well indeed. So yeah, definitely worth considering. Now, it's actually relatively conservative as well. You just basically put your Pulse in and you manage it, and you can earn that pretty nice return. So very cool. Now, you make return off the block fees, the uncle fees, transaction fees. That's where you get your sort of money. You do become a proposer of a block every so often. You'll get randomly picked for that. You'll also be testing blocks all the time, so you get a lot of testing fees from that too. So it's kind of cool. So that is the first passive income option. A little bit of responsibility with the hardware setup, but once you got that up, it should be pretty good. And there are some easier scripts than others that people have got out there as well. So RH Max, like I say, David Feder, Gamma, and there's a couple others out there as well. There's one out there that apparently is very good. It's just got a nice little step through. It's got a coder's done it, so I'm going to try and get hold of that as well. So that is the first one. Moving to the next passive incomes is the farms on PulseX. So you've got two options on here. You've got an option of going into the farms, and if you go into the farms, there are a few issues. So it's not as conservative as staking as a validator in many senses. But you can do two things. You can find the farms. So if you go to farms on PulseX, we're on V1. There's two versions of PulseX, so we're going to talk about those individually. But V1, you can provide liquidity to the PulseX Pulse pair. So if you don't really care which one you have, these are both Richard Hart tokens. If you don't care which one you really have out of PulseX Pulse, and you probably won't be worried too much about the impermanent loss. And of course, you can earn this nice, attractive APR. 26% is pretty attractive. And of course, you can earn that. Now, obviously, this is going to be subject to the incentive token ratio we talked about before, which is around 121,000 Pulse at the moment. So obviously, that is an issue there. But yeah, incentive rewards, pretty much impermanent loss is not going to be too much of a worry there if you don't care too much about which one you have. As they're bonded together and tend to move as well. Now we'll see whether there will be some ratio changes at different points in the future, but that is where it is at the moment. What else we could say? All you have to do is click on the farm, go get a PLS or LP. The LP is liquidity provider tokens, kind of represents the ownership position of your liquidity that when you provide it. So if you click on that button, it's going to take you to the liquidity pool. And you'll be able to add that liquidity in. So it's pretty cool. The other way of getting to that, of course, is just by going to liquidity and then manually clicking add liquidity, and you can do it that way. Now, if you do use a PulseX version 1, then you don't get any fees. So there's no fees because 100% of the swap fees go to the buy and burn contract. So just remember that. So 100% of the fees go to the buy and burn contract in PulseX version 1. But if there is a farm there, then you'll be able to provide liquidity for that farm. And so let's say if we provided 10 million Pulse, that's about $1,000 and about 25 million PulseX. So that'll be another $1,000. So it's about $2,000, more or less. That will give us a small percentage of the pool because the pool is very large. And of course, we'll have less than 0.01% of the pool. And that means that once we do provide that liquidity, it will take it out of our wallet and it will put it into the farm. And in return, it will give you an LP token, which is kind of like an ownership token, represents the pretty much the amounts that you put in and at the prices that you put it in. And of course, then you will be able to take those LP tokens that go into your wallet. So your Pulse and PulseX will get taken out. LP tokens for that position will be put into your wallet, and then you can take those LP tokens and go back to the farms and put those in the farms here. You'll have to enable the farm, and then of course you'll be able to then your deposit. Once you do that, those tokens will come out of your wallet, those LP tokens, and get put in the farm, and you'll be able to earn some incentive tokens, and that incentive tokens represents the APR that you're going to be earning here. Now that's going to change obviously over time. So you've got impermanent loss considerations from LP providing, and you'll be able to see that ratio in the farm when it's in there. And of course, you've got the APR that you'll be earning with the incentives. You can harvest those at any time, but obviously you're going to always pay a little bit of Pulse to get that out. So just remember that. And if you want to work out the calculator, you just hit the calculator here and hit that little plus button and hit the $1,000. Gives you an idea. I always like to use a day. And of course, that will give you how much you'll get a day. So doing PulseX and Wrap Pulse, yield for liquidity and farming will get you 0.07% of your capital back each day. 0.07%. Now, if we did a week, if the APR stays the same, and of course, remember that's subject to the incentive token value as well, amount of people that are inside the pool, then we've got 0.5%, so 0.5%. You'll get back a week of your capital in terms of income there, passive income. So that is the one there. Now, that's obviously one of the more conservative options there. There are more radical options, more risky options. And of course, we've got DAI from Ethereum and Wrap Pulse. We've got USDC from Ethereum and Wrap Pulse. And of course, we've got Wrapped ETH. We've got USD Tether. Now, these are all pretty awesome returns. Look at 223, but you do have to take into account any impermanent losses. At the moment, I don't think these have been too bad because the Pulse has not really broken out to the upside. But if Pulse broke out to the upside, then you're going to end up with a lot more stable coins in this pool when you go to exit. If you go to exit, and of course, you'll have a lot less Pulse in there if the Pulse breaks out to the upside, right? Just remember that. So really depends on how these prices go together or not. So that's important there. Now, obviously, you've got USD dollar Tether as well. So all of these are these stable coins in particular. If you're bullish about Pulse, then they could all break out, and so you'll have a lot less Pulse in there. So it may end up being better having the tokens, depending on how high Pulse goes relatively to the APR that you're earning, to have had just done nothing and have Pulse in your wallet and so forth. So yeah, there are, you've got to think about that. But that is pretty much it. You're looking at 213%, which is what, about double your money. So in a year, so 100% there. 6 months every time you double your money at the moment on these prices, on these APRs. Pretty awesome. Getting down to Hex and Pulse there, you got 97% at the moment. Now, these two will kind of tend to move together to some degree, but they relatively can break apart later on in the future in terms of impairment loss. APR, so this is kind of a middle ground. Now, this is probably the more conservative one up here. You're taking on sort of more riskier ones here, and this the Hex Pulse, Rat Pulse, probably a moderate one if you want to class that in the sort of the middle ground. Then you've got the incentive Rat Pulse, incentive PulseX, about 150% as well. Now, the cool things, you can just click on these calculators and get an idea of what it's going to be paying. So if I had $1,000 in there, it's going to give me back almost 0.5% of my capital every day at the moment. So you can see why it's been pretty lucrative in terms of that. So pretty good. That may offset the impairment losses, probably, especially in the first 38 days. I think it's probably played out pretty well for most people, except for people maybe that have bought at the top, presumably. So then we also got Wrap Bitcoin. So similar probably to Ethereum. We got Wrap Bitcoin in here as well. That is in sort of the more, I guess, moderate to risky ones. So probably stable coins, the most riskier ones. But I would suggest that that's actually played out pretty well for people that have provided those so far, and so forth. So yeah, the best performer at the moment in terms of getting passive income is the USD Tether, Rat Pulse. And let's have a look at the payoff for that at the moment. $1,000 on a day. Yeah, you're getting 0.62% of your capital back at the moment. That has been over 2% a day. And it's now down at 0.62% at the moment as well. So, but that's still very attractive, right? Yeah, very interesting stuff there. You can see the amount of liquidity in dollars that people have put in. So you can see the relative size of the pools as well. And of course, it's always good to monitor the incentive token as well. Obviously, you're getting paid out incentive token, and that is tradable for Pulse. So people often they will harvest their incentive token and sell it down, or they'll reinvest their incentive token. Sometimes they might earn it in here. You might earn, let's say you had wrapped ETH and Pulse. You're earning 117% at the moment on the APR. You harvest your incentive token earnings. Maybe you do it on a daily basis, and then you go and put it with, you got some more Pulse, you go put it with your incentive token into one of these other pools and start earning more incentive token in a year. So some people do compounding strategies. Some people shift as well and go into other pools with their compounding strategies, and some people just either hold it or sell it. So you've got a couple of options here to do that with that. Now, obviously, when you provide liquidity, if you could provide liquidity on a PulseX V1, and it may be for these farms, so any of these trading pairs here, or it may be for all sorts of other trading pairs out there that you can do. But if you do non-farms, you're not getting paid anything for providing liquidity. So it's really not in your self-interest. Now, what it does do, though, is the public good. So in other words, it goes and 100% of the fees on that pair go to buy and burn PulseX. So it's a public good, but you don't get any incentive yourself if you're in these non-farm liquidity pools. So if you go to liquidity, provide liquidity for a non-farm, then you're going to, if you select the non-farm, then you're not going to get liquidity for that. So just remember that. So what you want to do, if that case, you don't want to go into the farms, you're not interested in that, but you've got maybe you've got other tokens, you can go to V2 instead. So click on V2, and you can go and provide liquidity for other farms, and you'll be able to earn the fees on this one, right? So you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that the description is different from V1 on PulseX, and you can earn 0.22% of all trades on this pair in proportion to the share of the pool. So if you have a large share of the pool, so here we've got Beat, for example, and PulseX, but we'll do Pulse. Let's do that. Then if we had a, let's see here, I don't know how much is in this actual liquidity pool, but let's say that we have, a million Beat tokens. That's $450. We also have the equivalent of $450 of Pulse. Remember, PulseX is based on version 2 of Uniswap, Pancake Swap there, and of course you need 50-50 on both sides of the liquidity, which actually helps, right? Helps with pumping assets generally, because you've got both sides, especially one side that you particularly want to attract. So if we provided 1 million Beat here, we would get 0.29% share of the pool, which is not bad actually, at $452. Obviously, this is kind of one of the larger projects that have launched on the Pulsechain. which I call in the middle of the range, right? So these aren't the top tier ones, but they're in the middle of the pack. But they provide great utility. So that's kind of the one there, 0.2%. Now, if you provide that, this is going to take out Beat tokens, going to take out Pulse tokens and put them in a liquidity pool. So they'll go out from your wallet, but you will get LP tokens. They'll show up. And when you do get LP tokens, you can go back to the liquidity provision and you'll see that you'll have liquidity positions here. Whenever you got those LP tokens in your wallet, they will show up your position here, except for when you go into a farm, right? When you go into a farm, those tokens come out of your wallet. So this PulseX cannot see them. They are now on the farm. So just remember that. So that's kind of cool there. And when do you see your returns? Well, you can go to the info tab and look at the different pools that you've got that are there, and you can have a look at the LP rewards. So it's got the LP rewards and fees 24 hours. So you sort of can annualize those numbers. It does do calculations for 7 months and stuff like that. So you can see all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of cool. You can do that on V1 too. So if you want to see that, just go to the info tab. There's 3 ellipses, and just go info, and you'll be able to see some of the LP rewards there as well. Takes a little while to show up on my computer for some reason, but that will show up there. So that is more passive income opportunities you can do on the old PulseX, which is pretty cool. And that leads us into the project teams. So there's a lot of project teams out at the moment, but we're only early days. We're still ramping up. So we're going to talk through a couple of these projects at the moment. All right, let's see who else has jumped in the chat though. What else we got going? Let's have a look here. We got Not Mine House. Went ETH-W and ETH-Fiat also full system stake forks? No, they were not. Proof of stakes there. What else we got there? We got Sandy Beach as well. Hey, Sandy Beach, good to see you. We got Sandy Beach there as well. Hello, Hex Token, everybody. Well, ETH-W and ETH-Fiat had this. They had the system stake, but they're on proof of stake, right? So not. I'm sorry, proof of work. They weren't on proof of stake. So just to clarify that one. Anita in house as well. Good to see you, Anita. Good morning. Plus, the problem with ETH-Power and ETH-Fiat, they didn't have a whole ecosystem on top of them, and that's the problem with them. Whereas you're seeing roll out with Pulsechain, we're seeing a whole ecosystem roll out too. So they were pretty much isolated islands, to be honest, on there, and they were terribly set up. I mean, I covered it in depth, so yeah, pretty bad. What else we got going there? We got Brennan in the house there. Morning, Superman and family. Good to see you, Brennan. And we got Brennan as well. Says BlackRock ETF should approve in time for the BC halving. Yeah, so that's probably good for the market, but we all know that BlackRock cannot be trusted. So BlackRock has publicly been open that they're going to manipulate people's behavior and force people's behaviors. So not very happy with BlackRock. They are part of the global problem at the moment we're experiencing with people trying to take over complete power of the system. BlackRock's playing their role, unfortunately. So I do wish that we had different independent ETFs being approved, but of course there is seems to be some form of collusion between the SEC and BlackRock with that. So yeah, apparently BlackRock seems to get 99% of their products approved, whereas a lot of top crypto projects that are independent are getting denied. So yeah, not impressed by that. I think of the Winklevoss twins. Let's have a look here. Pulsedemic's in house there. Morning, Super Legend. Hey, Pulsedemic, good to see you. Thanks for the consistent stream. Solid info. Hey, you're welcome. We Hex and SB as well. Hi, all catching up after work. Great to see you, Hex and SB. Capello jumped in here. I all waking up from a late afternoon nap, so joining late. Hey, it's never too late. Never too late. Cleveland as well. Hey, you all. Good to see you, Cleveland. What else there? Sandy Beach says, hey, Wookie, I'm late because I've been staking. Have you, Sandy? Now, Sandy is a great example of someone who dollar cost average, participates on all the right projects, and great role model there. Sandy Beach is also a rising influencer on Twitter. So if you're not following Sandy Beach, definitely follow Sandy Beach out there. One of our moderators in the chat. Great explanation, Superman. I appreciate that, Briz. Thank you very much. What else we got going there? Winklevoss twins. Yeah. Whatever happened to the Hex ETF? The last update we had, last update that we had from Kinetics was that I actually asked him a question on Twitter, and he said that it's taking a little bit longer to get that public level like processing. So, but you're right. Hopefully they'll follow up on that. I did ask him about doing a Pulse and a PulseX ETF, and so yeah, exchange traded FUD. Yeah, so hopefully he's moving on to that. It's a trusted one, so hopefully we'll get there at the end. That could be huge for Pulsechain. I'm also hoping that Rack and Rochelle comes through too at some stage in the future, because that could access its capital to the Middle East, which would be pretty good. We all love to have all money coming to Pulsechain, right? If BlackRock wants an ETF, they probably already have all the Bitcoin they need to get started, right? So I wouldn't expect much of a pump at all. Yeah, but I agree with you. But apparently the Bitcoin is all loving that stuff right now, even though BlackRock is one of the bad agencies out there, a bad actor. I can't believe that CEO publicly said what we all knew they were doing, with their actions, and they said we're going to force behavior. Can you believe it? Forced behavior. Who else do we know that forces behavior? Yeah, authoritarians and dictators. That's who we know do that sort of stuff. Think Hex Token Sandy Beach. Hey, most welcome. I realize yes, maybe retail goes in and pushes in the insane amount of money in, and then BlackRock suppresses it. The other thing with the problem with these institutions, Briz, is that they play both sides. So they have an analytical side and a customer client list. They also have the product and trading line on one side. So they got the analytics and customers, and then they have the products and traders on the other side. And there's got to be massive colluding between the two arms, right? Because I've seen it actually play out many times. It's been pretty bad. They can do all sorts of stuff there. Get away with it all the time. They get away with it all the time. What else? We've got Spike in house there. Sup, peeps? Good to see Spike. Who else is in here? I think that's it. They always get their positions before we hear about it, right? You're right. That's true too. Yeah. I've seen it played out in different industries. I don't want to go into too many things like that because I might start giving away some stuff. So we'll leave it there. Anyway, let's have a look at the Pulsechain projects. We've got the PHUX or PUX. You guys can say however you want, but that's the one we got there. And we got that's up 60% at the moment. So many of these projects are going to be offering different kind of yields. So we're not going to go through them all in depth, but these ones quite a few of these projects actually offer yield opportunities as well. And you can go to their websites and check them out. So we've got a FUX there, it's up 60%, and that's at 0044. And there is an airdrop for this one, right? Free claim to Genesis holders for Pulse and PulseX, if I remember rightly. Let me know if you've claimed your PHUX, by the way. Let me know if you've claimed it. But that is the daily chart there. So it's actually looking pretty good. Up from what, 1 cent here, all the way up there. I know that's what does that say? 0.0025, but it is moving up pretty nicely there. Now liquidity on this is super small, $889 in this particular pair, so it's nothing to talk to home about. So look at the bigger pair, which is 5.6 thousand, and that is where it is at the moment. So very small little retail play at the moment, which I'm kind of surprised at, to be honest. But we'll be watching that one. Their website looks pretty good with the old PHUX site. It's like a portfolio management one. It's a fork of balancer, by the way, fork of balancer. So it's one of the big DVL projects, and we'll see how we get on there with those. So you can check that out. We've got this new one came up, this Pulse Arcade. So this Pulse Arcade came up yesterday, as far as I remember. Yesterday, Pulse Arcade. This is a gaming site. Now, you do have to connect to the site. And because I don't know much about it, I don't like, talking too much about these projects. But Pulse Arcade did pop up. And it is I think I'm trying to remember what game it's called. It's called a rocket game, or let me have a look here. That's a Crash. That's right. PLS Crash. Oh, I can't even get to it. So that's a bit weird. So yeah, it's not even loading. So there we are. So maybe it's being pulled, bit of a pull there. Let's have a look at the numbers here. 22 red flags on it. So people are not liking this at all. With 42 rockets. So I'd be very careful. But this came up yesterday as a game. And it's not really one of our passive income ones, but I just thought that it's on the list there at the moment. We may end up popping it off the list, but it did pop up yesterday as a game. I did check out the game, even though it's not showing up now. I did check it out yesterday, so maybe it's being pulled. We'll see. We've got Daytona Finance. Now, this obviously has got really good liquidity. And this is Daytona Finance. This actually offers you different yields as well. So we might pull up, let's pull up these two ones. I think I've got the, this is the Fuchs one, the P-Hooks. This is the website for this. So you can see they've got pools and the pools there. They've got type of pools. So they've got the APRs that you can earn on these pools. So you can see them all, the APRs down the right-hand side. So you can check out Fuchs.io for that. We've got lots of different types of pools. We talked about yesterday, talking about Beetroot. They put up their own pool in here. And this one here, Beat with RH Classic Source. They put that in there. It's a mixture of Beat Token, which we just used as an example earlier, PHEX and PulseX there. And you can see the APR there, 21% on that particular pool. Very small pool in there, but little fees in there. Some of the pools are bigger than others, so you got to take in how much liquidity is going through, how much volume on the turnover. So these are very important, how much volume's going in, and what the APRs are there. So you're getting nice little APRs, lots of different pools on there. So that's the Fuchs one. So we talked about that one at the top. We've also got this Daytona Finance. I think I've got that one up here too. Daytona Finance. So let's have a look at the farms. Now they have farms on here, so they've been able to typically they offer their extra incentive with their native token, the Tony token, and you can see they've got different yields on these. Pretty spectacular ones. We've got Tony USDC LP, 558%. Now you can see we've got this little diagram here. So it's pretty cool. They got 108 Tony per $1,000. It's a 1.5% return per day at the moment on these pools. So pretty amazing. And you can see there's other pools as well. So there's Daytona Finance as well. So these guys are ticking along there. I'm going to post these links in the chat now. Remember, nothing in this video is financial advice. You need to do your own due diligence. But these are some of the projects that are offering yield at the moment. If you are going to interact with some of these, I suggest that you always, outside Richard Hart products, or maybe some of the top tier utilities like Liquid Loans, Power City, that you use a DGen wallet or a separate wallet, dedicated wallet with its own private keys to interact with third-party dApps that are going on Pulsechain. That's a good rule of thumb. And then you probably won't be, you limit your exposure to those wallets as well. Just take that into account because obviously we haven't been able to check the Daytona one. P-Hook's, of course, part of a bigger team, but once again, regardless, you should really use a separate wallet there as well. So it's good to have at least at the minimum 2 wallets, one maybe with your main portfolio if that's the way you like to keep it nice and simple, and then another wallet for using to say the sort of investing in these kind of protocols. So kind of cool. All right, so they have lots of different features on here. Obviously, they've got swaps and claim. They've got stuff like that. Now, there is a claim for PHEX at the moment, so you can claim that. And they're going to come up with this portfolio page also, so you can see your stake pools and unstaked. So there's kind of a bit of stuff to explore in there. Daytona Finance obviously has their own stuff. They have trading and farms. They have the farms. Obviously, we're looking at those now. They got pools, of course. You can provide pools. They've got different liquidity on those too. They also seem to have a referral program here as well. So that's kind of cool. They have that and so on. So some cool stuff there. All right, that's Daytona. Where are we up to on here? We're going through other passive incomes that are up at the moment. So this list will grow of projects as we grow. Now, obviously, there's Pulse Kittens. That's more of that's a yield as well. So you can actually see Pulse Kittens at the moment. Pulse Kittens. Let's go have a quick look at Pulse Kittens. Now, this is a little different, and they're kind of NFTs, but you do earn yield on them. So that's kind of the play there. They do have some price drops as well. PK NFTs, Pulse Kitten NFTs provide additional yield when herding Pulse Kitten. So the more Pulse Kitten you've got for that, that plays out as well. So you can check that out. But this is more exotic if you want to think about it like that. So yeah. All right. Pulse Kittens. We can see the gallery of Pulse Kittens. You can see the yield. Each of these Pulse Kittens got different yield on them. So you can check it out. That's kind of a cutesy thing. But they were up pretty early. They were pretty early there. Balance. I think I got any balance. I don't think I got any Pulse Kittens on this Play Wallet. So that is kind of there too. What else we got going? So that is Pulse Kittens. So you can see the price chart here at the moment. It's always good to check out the price and how many people are participating. Do some due diligence, and you can always go to Pulse Police and see on Telegram, see Pulse Police, have okayed this project from a contract point of view, so you can do things like that. Yeah, so there we are. All right. What else are we looking at here? Let's go back out, and we're going to keep going down here. Obviously, we talked about Beetroot at the moment as well. We talked about that yesterday as one of our projects. So Beetroot here, we talked about that. Now, Beetroot apparently had their best day for volume ever on the Beetroot Anonymous Exchange yesterday. So isn't that cool? Very, very cool there. Great news for them. So biggest day ever for volume on the Beetroot Anonymous Exchange. So it's Beetroot Privacy Hub. Now, you recall that Richard retweeted this. It was one of the first places to get Pulse, native Pulse. And, of course, you can go to Beetroot World and check out Beetroot. And it's got lots of cool things on here. So always good to check that out as well. So we'll post that as well. That's a Beetroot. And Beetroot actually had one of the best, has had one of the best performing charts, I think, overall. I know it's come down a little bit here, but it has had a pretty nice run. That first week was really spectacular. And now at the moment it's 00045. So ticking along quite nicely here at the moment. You can see it's got lots of rockets, very few red flags on it. So looking good there. I don't know why really it's got any red flags, because it shouldn't probably have them. But that is that people have spoken. All right, so that's kind of cool. It's ticking along. What else we got going in here? We've got TrustSwap, of course. If you know TrustSwap, Jeff Kadakis. So TrustSwap is a pretty big TrustSwap. Let me TrustSwap. I'm pretty sure I had this up here before. TrustSwap. This is Jeff Kadakis, and of course you can go to TrustSwap.com. They've also got Team Finance and the crypto app. This is Jeff. This is a pretty big team, right? Pretty big team. They are the biggest launch pad in crypto, as far as I'm aware. And so yeah, they have pretty big team, pretty established team. They've also launched a couple of meme coins on Pulsechain early as well. So yeah, they're pretty much out there. Team Finance as well. Actually, I thought I was following Team Finance, but Team Finance is pretty cool. Tokens locks, you can do liquidity locks, token generator, vesting as a service, staking as a service. There's quite a few features there on this. These are just part of the Jeff Kadakis ecosystem and so forth. So kind of cool. They've got 391 million token lock value in there at the moment, and liquidity 180 million locked in their platform. So it's pretty impressive. This is the services they offer, which you can actually create your own token on here, by the way. So if you want to make your own token on crypto, you're looking for that, maybe you've got a good idea, then you could actually create a token on Pulsechain and do that on here at the moment on app.team.finance. So if that's something that you're wanting to do, then you can do it on this site, right? They do security level stuff. You can also do the allocation investing and stuff like that on here as well. So it's a pretty powerful site. I believe that Pulsechain is free for a limited time. So it's certainly something you can think about. They got token vesting, team token locks, a liquidity lock, etc., something like that. So food for thought, eh? Food for thought. You never thought that would be the case. So it's pretty easy like that. All right, so they've got quite a few different things there at the moment. So TrustSwap is on Pulsechain. So yeah, they've got a few services there as well. You can check out your dashboard and other products that they have. So I look through some of these. Yeah, they've got staking in here. I guess staking is something that people could look at here. They use a long-term staking pool. All right. I don't know if that's on Pulsechain though. So, but they definitely have token launches on Pulsechain. So, did I post that? I think I post the Twitter link to that if you want to get hold of all those sites. All right, bam. All right, that is pretty much it on Team Finance. So let's go back to where I was up to here. We're up to yeah, we've talked about SwapSwap. So that's the swap token. That's pretty decent sort of team. What else are we getting in here? Texan Token, of course, the first endowment token on the crypto, and of course that is by Rags to Riches and Crypto Heartbeat and Texan. Let's get Texan Token. Texan something. I've got to spell Texan right first. Texan CC. So this is the website for Texan. This is the first endowment token, and you can stake Texan. So you can actually stake Texan, and I think you can do it on Pulsechain. Yeah, you can do it on Ethereum and Pulsechain from the looks of it. So there we are. You can create a new stake, and so yeah, that's the endowment token there. I was just looking at the dashboard. Where's the dashboard gone? Global stats, yeah, global stats. There's the global stats at the moment, so kind of cool. And I think I'm on Pulsechain. Let me double check. Yeah, I'm on Pulsechain. So this is the details on Pulsechain at the moment. So it's kind of cool. So you can do that on Ethereum and Pulsechain, which is neat. So that is Texan Token there. That is run by Rags to Riches Encrypted Heartbeat. So definitely look at that. And they've got different returns on there too. So did I actually look at the returns? I can't even remember. Let's have a look at the returns. They got the returns there. Oh, it doesn't actually show on here. Yeah, I can't see the returns, but when you go to staking, you should show up the returns there. Now, we've got a one of our two community leaders in our Discord, KD. He's a member of the Texan team as well. So if you've got any questions around Texan Token yield, he could help you with that also. Right, so that is Texan Token. So we've got nice little yields there. I wish I had pulled them up, but we don't have them. And what else we got there? We've got the KG, of course. If you go to Time Token, you can go to KG and download the Internet Money Wallet and participate in that system. In other words, everybody that swaps on the Internet Money Wallet, their fees get distributed to those that are holding Time Token on the respective chain. So there's Time Token on Pulsechain, on Ethereum and BNB. So if you're holding those tokens, then you'll be able to access that too. So that is Internet Money. So let's pull that up. Bam, bam, bam. Internet Money. All right, so that is this team here. So I'll post this as well. You can download their wallets and you can participate in this team's one. Now, let us know in the chat there how the yield's been going. Obviously, this is already the more adoption that they have, the more volume that goes through the wallet, the more they have. Like MetaMask, if people swap, that all the money goes to the MetaMask team. But if you swap on in the Internet Money Wallet, it all goes to the people holding the Time Token. So it's very, very democratic or something like that, egalitarian or something like that. So there we are. All right, so that is that one. What else? They're in final beta though. It's in final beta, so it's not. I don't think it's gone to full commercial release. Just take that into account as well. All right, so that's kind of cool. That is the Time Token, and of course they've got the Internet Money Wallet token as well. They've got two tokens, the Time and the Internet Money. Then we've got Fiat fork of Aave. Now Fiat, of course, is related to this top team here, the same team. P-Hux here is also the Fiat, and Fiat is a fork of Aave. So whereas P-Hux or Fuchs, as you might call it, is a fork of Balancer, this is a fork of Aave. So obviously forking some of the top tier TVLs on Ethereum, and hopefully over time they'll be able to build up the value on Pulsechain similarly, and everybody here is early. So that's kind of cool. Now, Fiat is not yet compatible. They haven't actually launched it on Pulsechain yet. So this is the quiet before the storm for the old Fiat, because Fiat is only on Ethereum at the moment. They launched there first, of course, but we're waiting for them to launch on Pulsechain. So definitely worth following up with them on that. And let's have a look at the Ethereum app. Now, obviously, with this one here, you can stake. So if you have got the Fiat token, you can go to the staking page. Now, there's only on Ethereum at the moment, but when it goes to Pulsechain, you'll be able to stake on here. And they relaunched their token. Remember, they relaunched their token on Pulsechain. They did not use the Pulsechain copy. They relaunched it. So that's important to remember that they launched it here. Right. So, yeah, you can earn a certain yield. What's the yield? I'm trying to look at the yield here. It's not telling me, but there is a staking yield. The alternative, of course, you can actually use the platform as well, and you can get a deposit there as well. Now, I'm on the Pulsechain side, so it's not giving me the proper returns. But at the moment, if you lend, you can get these modest returns here at the moment on deposit APY. So yeah, they're 732,000 on Ethereum. Hopefully, they'll do a lot better on Pulsechain, and that will get into tens of millions over time. We'll see. It's still very early days for Pulsechain. So there we are. That is the Fiat projects. So let me just paste that in the chat there. That is not yet on Pulsechain, no, but that will be one that will be an opportunity in the future. So stay tuned for that. There's the Fiat fork of Aave. Same team as the P-Hux one that we saw earlier there, providing that fork of Balancer. So they are bringing the top TVL programs in. I would consider this team one of the three top teams because they bring multiple top dApps to Pulsechain. That being said, I do think the team needs to work a lot more on social media and marketing, and the user, being more sensitive to the user's needs and requirements. So they've got a bit to do around that. You don't have that problem with Power City and Liquid Loans, right? So hopefully they get on top of that and focus a lot on the users. Educational videos, answering questions and things like that. That'd be very helpful. All All right, what else? Let's jump through some of that. I think that's it. We got Paul Pleb in here as well. Paul Pleb's ticking along. Excuse me. I actually haven't actually looked at Paul Pleb for a while. So Paul Pleb, I'm not even sure I've got it up here, but yeah, I don't think I've got Paul Pleb up here. So, but Paul Pleb is out there as well, and tinkering away there. I'm not sure if they have any yield on Paul Pleb. You guys can let me know in the chat there. I haven't checked it up for quite some time. Now, there are a few other projects that are out there and about there that people are talking about a lot at the moment, like Tetra. So we might look at those in the future as well. But these are kind of the main teams that are up and running already in the early days of Pulsechain. And you can see some of them have varying liquidity offerings like Tony and things like that. So definitely well worth checking out some of these. So hopefully that's a good update at the moment of where we are on day 38 of the Pulsechain rollout. We have all the big protocols like Liquid Loans, Power City coming up in the future. So yeah, we're looking forward to a lot of those teams. And they have multiple dApps as well. It's not just they're not just both doing forks of liquidity, but they have multiple protocols. We're going to have fetch reporting with Liquid Loans. You'll be able to become a fetch reporter. It's an Oracle reporter. You can earn funds that way. They're going to have a lot of incentives for providing liquidity as well on Liquid Loans and fetch for Oracle. So it's going to be cool. We've also obviously Power City is going to have multiple dApps. They've got 6 on the roadmap at the moment, but they're likely to have many more over the years to come. They're going to be an absolute heavyweight amongst the dApps there, and I think there's going to become pretty powerful opportunities, passive income opportunities from them. So that's kind of the play there at the moment. So the best performer overnight is PHUX, followed by the Daytona at the moment in terms of price up there. 60%, 25%, so not bad. The other thing, of course, I always like to do is always look at the liquidity and see how strong the liquidity of the project is, and what the turnover is as well. The volume and liquidity, 2 key things you should look at in terms of the price, underlying price there, and how many people are participating, because obviously it gives you an idea of how active this project is. So no use going into something that looks kind of cool, but it's a dead project. There's not many people. There's not much volume, not much liquidity. It's a very degen little play. Otherwise, even if it has some utility offering, so just take those things into consideration. Let's get into the chats here. We've got a few more. I've got a couple more comments I wanted to make. Beetroot privacy, we talked about that. Coast team. I want to talk about Coast team quickly. Now, Coast is obviously another team that's doing amazing. They're doing top tier utility as well, bringing our Fiat on-ramp, off-ramp to Pulsechain. And of course, they've just launched on Ethereum. You can now get USDC directly without any middleman. So no centralized exchanges, not using Coinbase or anything like that, not having to wait for a whole week, and no limits on the amount that you can do. Very basic KYC, and away you go. You can transfer it. Now, we got some cool stuff around that from the Coast team. So yeah, we've got these tweets here that's coming out at the moment because Smooth Crypto here got retweeted by Coast. Just locked up some weight tokens. So the weight token, we talked about that, I think, down here. Yeah, weight token. We didn't quite talk about that, but that one here. Let's have a look here. So small liquidity at the moment. They haven't launched on Pulsechain yet. Remember, just launched on Ethereum. We sort of looked up yesterday the Ethereum. They had done very well on Ethereum with the price. So let's have a quick look at that as well. So waiting to launch. So this could be the quiet before the storm in terms of the price opportunity on weight. Might really rocket when they go to launch on Pulsechain, because they're going to have the first stablecoin, CST, will probably be launched on Pulsechain. They probably beat out Liquid Loans. We know. We'll see. See how fast. They said they're going to be sooner than later. So we'll be looking forward to that as well. So kind of cool. I see that the weight token looks like it got sold out overnight after all that. Yeah, it's got some pretty funny chart here with the volatility, but we've had the launch on Ethereum, and looks like it's starting to gain some base there. We'll be watching the weight token on Ethereum. On Pulsechain, this is the same token, but on Pulsechain, it has not launched. They haven't launched the Fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, or stablecoin yet on Pulsechain. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this price goes in the future. But they had some pretty cool, just locked up some weight token to get these juicy low fees when onboarding my Fiat using Coast on-ramp. Seriously, the best Fiat on-ramp solution I've seen yet. Well done to the team. If you're not using it, you should. No more centralized onboard PLSX there. So nice, really nice little update there from the Coast team. And of course, even the biggest YouTuber in our space that is native to Pulsechain. I know there's a couple of others out there that are quite large, but they're not really native to Pulsechain. They talk about Pulsechain a lot, but they're not really what I'd call born out of the ecosystem, as it were. There's Crypto Coffee, and he's got a little video. So we're going to hear his little we saw that tweet from somebody else, but also Crypto Coffee's got onto us, and he really loves it too. So we're going to play a little video.
This is live, guys. Let's talk about this. Go to zeroxcoast.com and you can sign up for the beta today if you live in the United States. And then more specifically, if you go to app.zeroxcoast.com, you can actually sign up for the beta right now. Let me tell you guys, I've signed up for the beta and it works amazingly well. It works flawlessly. I mean, it's so easy. You just connect your bank account and instantly transfer as much money as you want.
All right. So, that's a pretty good endorsement there from Crypto Coffee. So I've actually never seen him so excited, actually, to be honest. So he really liked that. Very, very cool from the Coast team. So some nice updates there. And remember, the on-ramp, off-ramp is part of the vertical integration from that Richard's been after. Richard Hart, the founder of Pulsechain PulseX. The on-ramp, off-ramp was a key pivotal part. Because you have the Pulsechain, you have the PulseX, so you got your blockchain and your big DEX. But you also need capital flow in and out, right? So you need bridges coming in, you need fiat on-ramps from the fiat world, you need both those two coming in. So you make the closed system of Pulsechain and PulseX open. And of course, you open it up to crypto users. That's the low-hanging fruit because they all know about using crypto. So you need bridges galore, and we've got bridges galore coming, happening already and coming. And then, of course, you need that fiat on-ramp from the fiat world. With all that capital to flow in as well. So some people like DCAing into crypto, so it's perfect for them. Every week they might just take a little bit of their salary or something, whatever, and DCA into crypto. So you got all those sort of people. You got some big institutions that like to bring money in. And the cool thing about Coast, there's no limit to how much you can bring in as well. It's very simple, no middleman as well. You got complete control. We've had people in our Discord come and go, "Oh, I'm on Coinbase or something, and I'm stuck for a week. I wanted to get this deal. They wanted to buy this deal, but in a week's time, the deal could have gone, right? Well, on Coast, you'll be able to bring it in pretty fast. So hats off to the Coast team for bringing that. So very nice. Now they're going to have a bigger ecosystem as well with the ecosystem. So you can definitely check that out. I'll post their team. I'll post the team there, and you can get hold of the DApp, the OKS Coast team. And you can get hold of the DApp there too. So that's their website. Yeah, looking good there. All right, so check that out. I'll post that in the chat as well. So you can get hold of that. What else are we going to say about that? So that is the Coast team. Big shout out to them. Let me just close down some of these sites here. The other thing we've had Pulse Punks yesterday. We have talked about a little bit about NFTs. We haven't started to have a few little NFT projects. Obviously, we've got Pulse Kittens. We've got Pulse Punks as well. We did pretty good coverage of that yesterday. We even had the Pulsechain team, Pulse Punks team in the chat there. A few members from the looks of it. But they're kicking some butt there. They're really kicking out of the park. And you can see only a couple of hours ago they had updates. They've hit over 1,000 owners today. They got 8,691 minted. So they're getting. There are only 10,000 of them. So it looks like they're going to be sold out soon. 1,309 mints to sell out. 225 mints a day they've been minting. 102 million Pulse was the highest NFT sale. So once they mint them out, you can mint them out for $1 million, but you can then try and sell them for higher amounts. And top trade so far is 102x, so 102 million there. Now that depends on a rarity as well. Obviously, they've all got different rarity NFTs, but they've had 2 billion in Pulse sales so far, and 114 million in the Pulse royalty pool. This gets paid out once a year, the first, and it's on Richard Hart's birthday in October, so that's kind of cool. They, at the time of publication, they said, which a couple of hours ago, they said 4 apes are left and 9 zombie NFTs are left, and they're growing their Twitter almost up to 2,000 with 715 Telegram. So they're really doing pretty well here. Let's have a quick look at some of the details here on Pulse Punks just to see where they're at the moment. Let's have to connect my wallet up there. Yeah, only 1,074 NFTs available, so they're almost run out. So what's going to be interesting once they run out is that it costs 1 million Pulse each, which is what less than $100 now, and what $95, $97 something. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So once they do, what will happen to the market prices, right? Because the only way you're going to be able to get them is by buying them on the market. Instead of you paying $1 million, you have to buy them as well. So interesting stuff there on this. So yeah, I mean, if we sort price low to high, let's go to low to high. What is the lowest price at the moment? Let's have a look and see what that is on the Pulse Punks. 490,000K. So that's less than the $1 million that people paid for them. They were selling them for half the price that they paid for them. So I don't know. But anyway, that's what they're doing. But once all the last 1,000 have gone, then are these really going to stay at that price? It's going to be interesting. What will the market decide? Is it now that you've got you can't mint anymore, you can only buy them on the market, and so that should enable a lot more trading, particularly if these stand as one of the Genesis pinnacle NFTs. You know, Punk's obviously famous. Pulse is playing on the Pulse name, Pulse Punks. Yeah, so it's going to be fun to see what happens to these. Will these be in the millions minimum? Will the lowest floor price be in the millions rather than 490K? It'll be interesting to see how that plays over time. Will we go from 1,000 owners to 3,000 owners or more? Who knows? It's going to be interesting too. We've got almost 15% listed at the moment. It's kind of cool like that. So I think this has been a pretty successful launch so far. And yeah, the royalty at the moment, 120 million Pulse in the royalty. Now, if you do hold one of these NFTs, remember, you benefit from all the trading that goes on. Just by holding NFT, you start to get some of that Pulse that you put out back. So, you know, if it costs you $1 million at the moment, you're getting it about 13,500 Pulse back. But of course, that's 111 days to go. So you can imagine how much trading will go on for 111 days. You could end up getting quite a bit of your money back, is my guess here, as well as having the NFT itself. So pretty cool. Anyway, that seems to be going pretty well and set up pretty nicely there. All right, that's Pulse Punks. That leads us into the Hex Daily Stats, I think. So that's our passive income. Those are all the projects on Pulsechain that I'm aware of. There's probably a couple that I haven't mentioned, but apart from that, I think we got through a lot of them. So I hope you guys enjoyed that content. Certainly some food for thought there. Yeah, like I say, PHUX as well has still got a Genesis wallet claims for Pulse and PulseX, I believe. So there are a few little rules about that, but you can check that out to your due diligence as always. We're up to 1 hour and 7 minutes on the hour, so we've got to the final section, Hex Daily Payouts. We always love to hear about that. At least I do. What else? Let's go through some of these comments. Let's go through all those. I'm going to jump through some of these now. Pulse 777's in the house. Hey, Super Kiwi, listening along. Thanks for your streams. Hey, you're welcome there, Pulse 77. Welcome to the chat too. The chat show says yo. General's going to look at PHUX later today. Tombo says PS seems great. I jumped into a few pools. I think we'll do well over time as get some small airdrops. Yeah. Like I say, I think if you do participate in any of these projects outside Rich Heart stuff, use a separate wallet with its own private keys. I know it can be, some people find a little bit of hassle setting up private keys, but I think it's pretty good to protect your, keep it away from your main bags, keep your main bags isolated and do it that way. Then you're going to be, less, you won't have a bad day. You might have if it does fail, then there'll be a limited, or you've isolated that exposure. Always a good rule. Second round of PHUX still coming for those who moved their sacrifice right. That is the case too. So if you move sacrifice, I would generally move your sacrifice if you can. I don't know what the minimum. I thought the minimum was 1,000 Pulse or PulseX in the wallet. That was the rule that I thought. I claim a PHUX too easy. There's nothing better than free money received with proper risk management. Nice one, Archipelago. Terrible name to saying. Yeah, I don't like the name either. That's why I saw it PHUX. I'm not going to say what they say it is. Let's go, Brandon. Yeah. What else? We'll jump through some of those. Did anyone claim their Pulse Kitten airdrop? I don't know if it's worth the risk. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it with your main bags. So yeah, it's probably, sometimes you got to say, is it worth the risk? I probably wouldn't do it, is my guess. Let us know in the chat if you've claimed so. Yeah, don't chase after pennies in front of freight trains, right? So that's the thing there. So yeah, even with the PHUX claim or anything like that, I wouldn't be claiming with your main wallets. You certainly want to move your stuff out. Yeah, I did think that they had a minimum for that one for 1,000 Pulse or PulseX in there. So if that's the case, then you should have been okay. If not, then yeah, I'd be hesitant about claiming anything with your main sac wallets or anything like that. Pulsechain says, I think a Pulsechain ETF would do better than a Hex one. People still don't understand Hex, and it's worse since the token splits. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time through this turbulence phase. So yeah, but I think all three will be good. We can have all three up and running. What else we got there? Pulse77 says, when do you think liquid loans will be arrived? Well, they said day 60. We're on day 38. So day 60 is what they said. We're on day 38. So liquid loans. So, what's that? Another 22 days, 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks, plus or minus a week. I know that's not helpful, but 3 weeks plus or minus a week is probably where I would put that at the moment. They did say 60 days. So let's say that. So let's say 3 or 4 weeks. Now, the cool thing about liquid loans is when they do come, we haven't covered them today, I don't think, but when they do come, like I say, they're going to have extra incentives providing liquidity. That's going to be very popular, I tell you. They're also going to have the Fetch Reporter as well. Now, I am hoping that Liquid Loans teams moves into providing more top TVL projects from Ethereum over to Pulsechain. So I do hope they do that. Remember, they had over 50 million in the sacrifice. So I do hope that they use some of that capital to expand that. I also am looking forward to them doing some pretty decent marketing as well for Pulsechain generally. That'd be really cool to see one of our heavyweight teams with a decent capital portfolio to actually get some smart marketing, not dumb marketing, not just wasting it, but using stuff that we know that's pretty effective. It'd be pretty cool to do that. I don't know why I tap my hat for. Tap my head. Dumb. Should be a man of dumb. Stupid man of dumb. Don't know what dumb, but yeah. So cool. Sandy Beach says, I did have more time dividend in one of my DGM wallets. Yay, says Sandy Beach. You're crazy, Sandy Beach. You're crazy. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy. Superman is Mr. Solid, says refined. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Archipelago says, I have a respectable amount of time and have accrued roughly 2,500 Pulse in about 3 weeks. Wallet is great, though, and I have conviction in the project and team that will go up, I'm sure, says Archipelago. Nice little feedback there about Internet Money Wallet. They will integrate Coast. Yeah, so Internet Money Wallet is going to integrate Coast team, so with the Fiat on-ramp there, I'm sure that will help a lot. I think so, too, but especially for it's a win-win, right, for Coast and for the Internet Money. So good to see those teams working together. Synergy, we love it. Roderick Patrickson, how's the good morning, Superman and family? I've been shooting the past week. No reception where I was. Looks like I've got some catching up to do. Hey, Pulse, Rod Fitzpatrick, you've come to a good session. We've covered a lot of good stuff today in terms of all the teams on Pulsechain. A ton of single-sided staking liquidity was added to Coast yesterday. 60 million weight, which should help make it easy to buy and with little ardor to sell down bullish, says Archipelago. 100%. That's great news. Where else there? Mintra updates. No Mintra update, Brennan. I looked at Mintra before the live stream. No update on Mintra yet, but they did have their audits done, so they can't be too far away from launching. So yeah, we've talked about how the big DeFis are coming, Liquid Loans, Power City, and probably more from the famous team with their Fiat and their PHUX. But we're also got the 3 big NFT platforms to launch, right? So Mintra, How to Pulse, which has got the sacrifice open at the moment. We talked about that a couple of days ago. And of course, the Power City NFT on Pulse, I think it is. Yeah, one of those two. Might be switching the names around, but they've got the 3 big NFT marketplaces to come as well. Terry says, are you getting on Pulse Punk, Superman? Well, you might have seen on my Play wallet, there's a Pulse Punk sitting in there. There is a Pulse Punk. That's how I know how much Pulse people are getting from the winnings there. It was from that. So that's pretty funny. All right, let's wrap up. We're at an hour and 40 minutes, so let's get into yesterday's stats. We're on day 1,295. And of course, we got the price there at 00859, down 9.6%. Say it ain't so, Doc. Say it ain't so. It is. And of course, just got to make sure I'm on the right day. Yeah, that's the right day. And the payout Patricia, 6.546 Hex on ETH chain. Looks so good. I love the 6.5. It's going to keep going up. We're expecting around about 7.2 to 7.4 Hex Patricia by the end of the year. Get those sweet T-shares. That's all I can say. And of course, we've got dot day there today, 27,768 is the share rate. Earlier pays better, and that's expected to be over 31,000 by the end of the year. 31,000. Earlier pays better, folks. Longer pays better, which means you can get this for a third of the price, currently $238 T-share, but for a third of the price of that if you do longer pays better, up to 10 years. 7.11 years is the average mining length. Based on the average mining length and all the T-shares at the moment, 39.17% is the APY. If you did a 7.1 year stake now at the moment, it would probably get you about 24%. Just take that into account. You can use the Hex calc for that. We've got the liquidity in the pool is up from 188 to 197 million. We've got 228,000 in the pool there. So that's down from yesterday. 129 ETH as well in the liquidity pool. What else there? The ownership pool for Hex. Hex is really easy to understand. We're a reward pool and an ownership pool. If the ownership pool has got T shares in it, if it goes down, then obviously your payout per T share is going to go up. That's pretty much it. That's Hex in a nutshell. 5,587 T shares has increased today, so that's good. We're at 9.9 million T shares in the ownership pool. Going to the stake percentage of coins, 9.31%. Sorry, 9.3% is staked at the moment, and penalties there 326,000. So pretty similar to yesterday, and we're just continuing to get paid. So that's pretty much it. Current liquid holders down 50. Say what? I don't know why it's down so aggressively, but it's down 50 today. We're at 330,811. T-share miners are down 14 as well, 120,471. I don't know whether there was some big miners out there, liquid stakes maturing or whatever, but sorry, the T-shares maturing, but that's down 14. We might explain these changes in these numbers. We're down 120, or we're at 120,471 miners on the ETH chain. We're up 91 holders on the ETH chain there. 573,533 is the number there. Day 12.95. Looking at Pulsechain, Hex on Pulsechain, we've got the price at 1.249 cents. And we're down 5.3% for today. The payout though 6.510, so nice payouts there. Dot day and the share rate as well. The average mine length is lower than 7.1 years, 11 years on Ethereum. We're at 7.06. The APY is slightly lower too, 38.71%. We're going to jump past the liquidity there. Look at the ownership pool. Also up pretty nicely on the ownership pool there, 5,897 T shares. We're sitting at 9,938,000. So what's that, about 36,000 more T shares on Pulsechain than there is on Ethereum. What else are we going to talk about there? The lock percentage of coins. There is slightly more of Hex locked on Pulsechain, 9.4%. Not surprising because obviously Pulsechain is super cheap to do stuff. And so not bad there. Penalties today, pretty low. We had quite a few days of heavy penalties on Pulsechain, but they've died down the last 2 days. Look at that, virtually nothing. And so that's kind of calmed down. We'll be looking at those numbers. The change in liquid holders down 34 as well. So the same sort of impact on Ethereum as on Pulsechain there, but the miners are up. So super cheap Pulsechain. Hex miners are up there. We knew the retail book was going to be particularly aggressive on the Pulsechain side. The bigger wallets don't care so much. They're really, that's around the APY perhaps. We're going to see that play out. We're still very early days, as we say. Up 20 miners, 121,606. Total holders up 99 to 568,471 on the Pulsechain. So two chains and two powerful earnings there. Day 1296 is the current day, or day 30. What day we're on there? Day 39 now. We've just flipped over to day 39 on the Pulsechain launch. Day 39. So we just finished day 38, and here we are on day 39 on Pulsechain. Combined price at the moment of these two is 2.12 cents for both hexes there, and the payouts all both juicy, both of them over 6.5, looking very, very cool indeed. So that's the Hex Daily Stats, folks. I hope you guys like that. That is a big show today. What a big show. We put a ton of stuff in there, and it's probably time to wrap up and Superman get rugged. Superman get rugged here. Great show, Superman. Appreciate it, sir. You're welcome, Archipelago. And Brennan says, no one loves the buy and burn more than me. Oh, Brennan, sneaky. That was a sneaky move. Yes, I love the buy and burn too. But yeah, Hex Daily Stats more at the moment. But later on, the buy and burn will be make its own day. All right, let's play out some cool music on the way out. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. We're now on day 39 of the Pulsechain launch. Still early days. I suspect that the next month will still be an interesting price discovery phase. And so, yeah, but we've got some big projects launching on the back end of that period. It's going to be fun to see those launch as well and add some really heavyweight protocols to Pulsechain. It's going to be fun. All right, let me see here. What are we going to play? Let's play some rap. Let's do some rap. All right, take care. See you in Discord. Discord is free, and we've got all the useful links in there. The link is in the video description. And, of course, you can continue to talk in there. 24/7 is how it goes there. So, Discord, hit the subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, smash the like button as well. And if you want to join as a member, hit the join button. We've got Pulsekins, Hexkins, Richard Heart Club, get some cool emojis in the live chats there. And we obviously stream every single day. So take care. Peace out. Have a great, great week. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Here in my $3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all product, Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.